Roby, we're looking forward to bringing you 8 weeks of TVC basketball.
And tonight we'll get a look at the dominant Megs boys who remain undefeated this season.
Plus, after the Alexander boys split the season series with Athens last year, we have the highlights from this year's edition.
But we're starting in the Ohio with the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes who took on the River Valley Raiders on Monday night. The Lady Buckeyes wasted absolutely no time in the first quarter. Elena Okulich with a dime to Maddie Pidcock for that and one, but a quick VC response. Emily Mink with a sweet and simple layup. A back and forth battle here. NY's Megan Booth doing her best Era Levy impression, knocking down the triple. Balls back with VC. Nora Martin, big floater over the NYD. With VC, the ball stays. Vikings run away with it 68-43. After the game, head coach Mark Truax talked about how the girls can get back on track.
Well, we've had good stretches in every game, so it's the point of just putting those good stretches together and more combination of letting the bad situations snowball on us and get us to where we're just in too big of a hole.
Now, unlike the girls, the boys got a dub this week against Wilson, and NY reporter Donovan Vardy joins me to talk all things Buckeye boys.
That's right, and Ashley, mind you, this is an NY team that has not lost to the Golden Rockets since 2021, and their success is largely due to their defense. As a unit right now, they're averaging over 9 steals per game, and the reason that number is so high is because they are swarming every loose ball. It's not plays and guys just like this, Bean Martin, getting there. It's not just him, it's Alec Thompson, it's Landon Inman. It's every single one of them, and another thing I've noticed is they put a lot of pressure on guards up the court, right? You can't get past that timeline without an NY defender right there.
Yeah, and this pressure and this aggression, it's something that the NY boys team has been known for a while now.
Yeah, under Coach Blaine Gabriel, this is what he does, right? He always comes out in a press, and they force a lot of bad looks doing so. Air balls just like that. They create turnovers, and the reason they've been doing so good is because their chemistry is great. They're moving as a unit.
Yeah, and we know chemistry can mean everything for a team's success, and NY is absolutely no exception.
Yeah, that's right. The defensive chemistry directly translates to their success on offense. Almost every point they're scoring is off an assist.
So they play a pretty unselfish brand of basketball.
Yeah, basically, they're not doing anything really special, right? It's simple. It's really simple. They love a good outlet pass and playing in transition, and they know exactly where each other are going to be on the court. It's that chemistry like I was talking about. You're going to see here, they just know exactly where he's going to be, passes like that, and Cam Sullivan right here even has a no-look behind-the-back pass. You're going to see it again here. He knows exactly where his teammates' positioning is going to be, and it leads to a good assist. This is what that offense does, and that's why they're successful. But all this talk about offense, we have to take a look at the numbers.
Yeah, as you can see here, these three in particular have taken major jumps compared to what they were doing last season.
Yeah, Thompson, Call, and Sullivan are all up in the points per game category, with Thompson jumping up significantly. After the game, Coach Gabriel said the guys are clicking because they're just having fun, and honestly, if they keep things that way, the sky's the limit.
Love it. Thanks, Donovan. Now we're going to stay in the Ohio, but send it on over to Bowlby to talk about a new powerhouse.
Yeah, well, there's only one undefeated team left in the TVC this season, and that's the Megs boys, and they haven't just been winning. They've been winning big. And to help break down this remarkable season by the Megs boys, we have Lucy Schaefer.
Yeah, Bowlby, this season has been absolutely remarkable, just like you said, and they were hoping to continue that win streak that they've been on against Nelsonville York on Friday. Now, first-year head coach Ryan Davis told me earlier in the year about this team's depth, and with starter Aaron Tobin out due to a sprained ankle, we saw that on full display. First quarter, Caden Geen right off the bat nailing this three from the right side, and Geen's performance only got better. He ended the night 22 points, and 21 of those were threes. That'd be 7 threes. The Buckeyes struggled to keep up with him, combined with Reed Brinegar. This play call here, started by Owen Tracy, drew defenders in and left him open on the arc, and with Reed Brinegar, you do not want to let that happen. Donovan talked about NY's aggressive defense, but the Marauders evaded it all game with their speed and offensive awareness. We also saw that speed in transition, paving the way for a Megs 92-47 win. Brinegar and Geen finished with over 20 points, and Coach Davis continued to praise his team's depth after the game.
We had a bunch of guys that could score as long as we're moving the basketball and we're aggressive when we catch it. So it wouldn't shock me for any one of the 7 guys we played to score 20 any night.
So, Lucy, we heard a lot about Coach Ryan Davis so far, but what has he really brought to this team?
Yeah, so he was at Chesapeake from 2007 to 2022. That'd be 15 seasons, and he went 231 and 118 while taking home state D3 Coach of the Year honors in 2020. And he was most recently at Bloom Carroll for 2 seasons, finishing at 29 and 19 overall before taking that job at Megs. Now, he also brought some exceptional talent with him, his 6'8" son, Carson Davis. Carson's a stretch forward who can operate in the post and from 3, and his height adds a major passing threat to the Marauders offense. We saw him getting open 4-3 in transition earlier. Watch here how he showcases that passing ability, finding Landon Dewees all the way down court so he can capitalize on that play. And like father, like son, both coaching from the sidelines here, and they've both brought that leadership that's important to this team's success. Now with that win over NY, the Marauders now advance to 12-0, and they'll hope to continue that with matchups at Fort Fry and at Warren this coming week.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see if they can keep it rolling. Thanks, Lucy. All right, let's go over to the Megs girls facing River Valley. Early triple attempt by Kaylee Berger, no good, but the second chance points are from Carly Manley. Marauders' first score of the game would come on this stop and pop by Braylon Hubbard. The Megs offense struggled in this game, and you can see Layla Mullins coming up with this steal, and she's going to go ahead and spark the fast break, toss it over to Haley Edwards at the end, who lays it in. River Valley's defense was strong all night, and Berger had 21, which led the Raiders to a 7th straight win. Now, the Lady Marauders are still yet to win their first game this season, but next week, there's an opportunity to change that. Megs will be in Ashton, West Virginia on Tuesday to face the 1-6 Hannon Wildcats, and then on Wednesday, they'll be on the road to face the 1-11 Eastern Eagles.
Now, the Alexander boys also faced a River Valley matchup this week. A little hug to start the game between coaches. You know we love to see it. But what else do we love to see? Braden Bennett from the arc drains a 3. A few plays later, Bennett again drops it in nice and easy. That's 2. But the energy starting to shift a little bit in the Spartans' direction here. And you already know Jace Cooper is going to take full advantage of that shift, drawing the and 1, and then hitting the game-tying 3 a few plays later to send this one into overtime. Okay, Jace Cooper, 2's a crowd, but 3's a party for the Alexander Spartans. Noah Ray with a 3 to start overtime right off the bat, and this sets the tone for the rest of the game as Alexander came away with it 57-53, and head coach Jordan Hill grabbed his first ever TVC Ohio win. Now, speaking of Coach Hill, he may be a fresh face at the helm of this Alexander team, but he is no stranger to some Spartan basketball. Hill was the Alexander assistant coach from 2013 to 2020, winning 3 sectional titles during that time, and now adding a conference dub to his head coach resume. The Lady Spartans faced a TVC Ohio matchup of their own this week.
But before we get into it, we got to talk about Spartans head coach Morgan Grinstead on all the progress that she's made with her team. And then for that, we're going to bring in Josh Herner.
Yeah, guys, the Spartans are in the midst of another strong season, and a large part of that success is due to a new culture. Head coach Morgan Grinstead and her team are coming off of their first winning season under Grinstead, and now they look to build off of that season. I talked with Coach Grinstead and a few impactful players this week about Alexander's development on and off the floor.
You know, they're always helping out, especially like the incoming freshmen, trying to know our system and stuff.
The players Coach Grinstead is talking about are senior McKenna Moore, junior Kaylee Hudnall, and sophomore Lily Ryder. These 3 have been influential to the Spartans' success this season and share a special bond on the court.
Lily pushes me every day, and Ken is the best partner I can ask for in practice. And just having them 2 right there beside me is awesome to have.
Off the court, having positive relationships is crucial, and Ryder recognizes the importance.
I mean, we're around each other every day. We hang out during the weekends. Like, we're all really good friends. So I would say just being able to go outside out of practice and games and having fun with each other, and I think it brings good vibes to games.
Moore is in her last year with the Spartans, and this season has meant a lot to her.
All the friendships with people, and then I want to continue those friendships, and I want to continue like the on the court, like communications and rebounds and stuff.
Now in her 3rd year, Coach Grinstead recognizes and understands the commitment it takes to build a culture.
You know, that sisterhood, that bond, whether we're friends, tight friends or not, close friends, the sisterhood of just playing basketball and going through it every day brings them closer. And, you know, I feel like if you have that, you'll be more successful.
Now that we talked about the culture, let's talk results. This week, the Spartans headed to Wellston looking to complete the season sweep of the Golden Rockets. The Spartans came into this contest looking to break their 2-game losing streak in their first game in 11 days. But Wellston came out of the gate strong. Kennedy Stevens finds the lane, gets the foul, and the bucket. Wellston had the lead after the first, but the second was all Spartans. Ryder gets a triple to go from the corner. Alexander would go on a 26-0 run in the second, 37-14 going into the halftime break. Now, here in the third, it's Hudnall and Ryder again. Hudnall, the Ryder catch and shoot goes down. That momentum did not stop for Alexander. And it's Ryder again, this time taking it coast to coast with the Euro at the buzzer. She had 25 points on the night as Alexander would go on to win, 58-32. Even after a slow start, Alexander got back to playing their fast-paced brand of basketball. There's no doubt this win will help them stay near the top of the conference.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
After their win against Wellston, the Alexander girls then took on Vinton County.
And VC reporter Grant Kiefer has seen the ups and downs, and this season has been an up for the Vikings.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a season for the Vikings so far, but a rematch against Alexander would present some challenges. First time out, Spartans gave the Vikings their first loss of the season back in December. Sophomore Trinity Williams helping VC get off to a hot start, jumping out to a 6-1 lead with this 3. Ashley, this wouldn't last for long, though.
I mean, we just talked about it with Coach Grinstead. You really never know what to expect from Alexander, but their defense is going to get it done no matter what.
Yeah, and the fact that they run only an 8-player rotation makes their defensive effort even more impressive. This play told the story of the game. Check this out. Kaylee Hudnall gets the steal, takes it down the floor, and gets the M1. Talk about impressive. All right, now if you're going to look for bright spots for Vinton County, sophomore Nora Martin has been electric off the bench for the Vikings. You saw her against Nelsonville York earlier. She's had a 3-game stretch Coach Brett Jones could only describe as crazy. All in all, the Spartans' defense was too much to handle. They take down the Vikings 53-36.
Yeah, so a tough game for the Vikings, but there's still so much to be proud of this year.
Yeah, Bobby, the proof is in the pudding right now. They're playing their best basketball in 3 years, and you see it right here. It was a nice start to the season. It's got some losses sprinkled in, but now the Vikings have won 4 of their last 5 games and sit 10-5 overall after a couple of down years. Coach Jones has been waiting for the day that Vinton County girls basketball is competing again at a high level.
I think I've been pretty honest with the team and probably with everyone. You know, it's coming. It's coming back. You know, it's coming. It does take, you know, a year or two. I mean, 2 years ago we were TVC champs. I mean, it's just that simple. So it takes some time. We're here 10-5. You know, you got to, you know, our league's still tough as can be. You got a team like Athens who's winning the league right now. Alexander, give them all the credit in the world.
Look, it wasn't long ago that Vinton County was competing and winning the TVC Ohio. I feel like it's right that they're back competing for the top of the title crown.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive build for them. It's going to be tough. They got a game against Athens this week.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We'll see how it shakes out for them against Athens. Thanks, Grant.
The VC boys are playing in their first conference game in a month. Cobra Sharp early on with a slide through the defense and finish at the cup. Flash forward to the second quarter, and the ball is going to swing back into the corner for Sharp, and that's a triple that cuts into the Rockets' lead. And don't worry, we have even more Cobra Crips. Drive right around everybody, and then he'll finish to tie the game up. Nash Yates on the fast break runs right in, and he's going to take this contact on and fight through to finish. Vikings pull away and win this one 63-53.
Just in a hurry. Like, you know, like I said earlier, like I think against that zone, we were trying to make too much stuff happen too early. And, you know, once we got patience and got some ball reversals, good things happened for us.
Well, there's no doubt that one of the best rivalries in the TVC is Athens and Alexander.
And there is absolutely no one better to break it down with us than Athens reporter Zachary Knight.
Yeah, like Bolby said, this rivalry is always competitive, and last time they played was no exception. The Spartans defeated Athens 42-35, earning their only win of the season and snapping a 17-game losing streak last year. This year, Athens rolled up to the alley looking to get back at the Spartans. Right away, this was a back-and-forth matchup. Things were neck and neck until the half, where Alexander held a narrow lead at 35-32. In the back half, things slowed down, but that doesn't mean buckets meant any less for Zach Mullins, getting his own rebound and going up for a score. After a back-and-forth third, the Bulldogs finally pulled ahead in the home stretch, coming out on top 63-48.
So a huge dub for the Bulldogs, and it seems like Athens looks a little bit different this season compared to last.
Yeah, while 4 of the starting 5 stayed the same, freshman Colin Chapman came in to round out this team. The Bulldogs had some familiar faces that helped out too. Senior Easton Newsom led the pack with 17 points and 6 rebounds. Another one of those familiar faces has also stepped up this season, senior point guard Leo Martin. Martin has taken charge as the leader of this Bulldog squad. He facilitates the team, picking up 8 assists in the Alexander matchup. Martin has improved in almost every category this season, stepping up to fill the spot of last year's season.
All right, Zach, let's go over to the girls. They've been rolling all season long. They still sit atop the TVC Ohio.
Yeah, they continue to win games both in and out of conference. After another one of those conference wins against River Valley on Thursday, the Athens girls traveled down to Shawnee State for a Buckeye Elite Showcase game against the Notre Dame Titans, a team coming off a historic loss. The Titans broke their 123-game-long conference win streak with a loss to the Green Bulldogs on Thursday, and now they're facing off with another Bulldogs team. From the first minutes, Athens showed just how competitive they can be. The Bulldogs' last 2 out-of-conference games have been their only 2 losses this season, and they weren't looking to make it 3. Early on, lone senior point guard Asa Holcomb injured her ankle and was out for the rest of the game, but the talent on this Bulldog squad continued to shine. Athens continued to find openings to work it inside with Lex Kopel while helping Olivia Smart get open shots outside and ending on top 54-30. Head coach Phil Koska spoke on how well-rounded his Bulldog squad is.
So that's the best part of this team, making it where the coach on the other side has to figure out who's going off tonight, which one is going to get 20 and the rest are going to get 10s. Because we had 3 tonight get double-digit scoring.
Both Athens teams are on the come-up, excited to see where they're headed this season.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on them as this season continues. Thanks, Zachary. And he just gave us a rundown on the top team in the girls.
But let's take a look at where the rest of them stand after this week. As I just mentioned, Athens still has a lead in the girls' standings, but Alexander is staying in the conference title race. Those two will meet on January 30th, likely for the conference title.
And River Valley is still sitting there comfortably at 3rd at 5-3. Vinton County sits in 4th, and again, remember, they have that game coming up against Athens later in the week. NY, Wellston, and Meigs rounding out the bottom portion of the conference, but still fighting for the standings as we continue on. Over on the boys' side, Meigs, as we talked about earlier, still holding strong at 1st place at an undefeated record. However, VC only a game back, and they still have another game to play this season. The Buckeyes and Bulldogs are tied for 3rd at 3-2 after wins this week. Wellston fighting at 5th, while Alexander and River Valley sit and round out the bottom of the conference. Now, let's go over to the TVC Hockey, where we had a top 3 matchup. 1st place Southern traveling to face 3rd place Eastern, and not to mention, this is an intense rivalry that's bound to draw a big crowd. Let's bring in Eastern reporter Stephen Caroli.
Bobby, the last time that the Eastern boys finished with 5 or more wins in a season was back in 2020. Right now, in 2025, they already have 7. First-year head coach Greg Lloyd has the Eagles flying, but Southern is rolling off an undefeated 3-0 start to conference play. Let's get straight to it, and in the first, Colton Lloyd got to work. Misses the first, attacks the glass, and is rewarded for his effort with the whistle. In the corner, he's seeing green. Lloyd led all scorers with 24 points and scored 13 of the Eagles' first 20. But here comes Southern. Andre Chandler, the Hezzy is lethal and plus the finish over the taller defender. That's a pure bucket. Southern keeps it close, 28-26 Eagles. Let's go to the 4th. Minute 30 left, and Derek Barnes, huge 3, 55-53 Eastern. Down the other way, Chandler puts it on a platter for Landon Everson. We're knotted at 55. Southern, chance to win, but if we're talking defense, Ethan Edwards is the key to the safe the way he's locking up. Overtime it is. Eastern up by 1 with a minute left in overtime, but this foul by Derek Barnes would ultimately decide the game. Southern closes out a great performance with free throws, winning in OT 64-61.
Yeah, what a game, Stephen. Myself and Ashley were there. We watched it courtside, and you could really see the jump that Eastern has taken this season.
Yeah, Bolby, this offense has taken off. They've always had the athletes, but the way they're moving the ball right now is just so special. And, this is what I'm talking about. The Eagles are moving the ball really well. We're going to see a press break here. Colton Lloyd, he's got his hands up. Veteran player, knows that there's only one defender near the cup right now. He's going to get the ball. He's going to create some space on the turnaround. And then this right here is an easy bucket, Bolby.
Yeah, it's clear how much more effective this offense is this year.
Here's a set in the half court. Gavin Murphy, he's going to drive baseline. 1, 2, 3. Too many defenders on the right there. It's overloaded. Grady Rockhold has his hands up, and now Ethan Edwards on the baseline, and one finish. Now let's look at 2 of the more impactful players on Eastern's offense. Gavin Murphy, he has his hand up as he's sliding to the block there, as the ball is sliding as well. This creates a lane and draws attention. 2 defenders on him. Clear lane for Colton Lloyd. There's a bucket. This team is scary this year. Now, we're going to see this matchup once again later on in the season, Bolby, so I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, so am I, Stephen. Thank you. The Trimble girls were also in regional this week, having lost on Monday. Early on, Kinsley Well with the opening points of the game for the Eagles. On the other end, we got a kick out and knockdown. Rylan Fouts with this 3, part of her 26-point performance. Here we are late in the first half. Hadley Mace with a corner triple to add to a big lead at halftime for the Tomcats. Mackenzie Robertson in transition wants to pull up, and she's got that for the Eagles. Robertson finished with 11 points, but it wasn't enough. Tomcats win this one 45-24.
Now, fresh off that Eastern win, the Tomcats took on NY yesterday. A fairly slow but very defensive first half of this game. But we've got to fast forward to the 4th quarter because that's where the magic happens. It's all back and forth hustle. Trimble down 2 points. A clutch layup by Daisy Harvey is going to send this game to OT. 1 minute left in overtime, and Maddie Pidcock, huge 3 to put NY up 39-38. But if you think this game's wrapped up, well, you'd be wrong. 11 seconds, Trimble down by 1. Abby Weber hits the game-winning 3, then jogs away like it's nothing. Don't call it a comeback. They've been here before. Tomcats take it 41-39. So a big win against a rival for the Tomcats. That improves their record to 8-5 on the year, but this isn't the only area Trimble has improved this season. Their points per game are up, and with a much improved defense, these Tomcats could make some noise in the coming weeks. We've got another classic rivalry on the slate for you. The Trimble boys took on Fed Hawk on Friday, and Tomcat reporter Ty Carpenter has all the details.
Ashley, both these teams are still searching for that first conference win, and what better way to get it than against a big-time conference rival? Trimble Fed Hawk week always means just a little bit more, and these boys got it rolling early on. Off the missed 3 and off the rebound, Cameron Joy is going to get it, find some space. He's going to fade back, and it is in. One more on the foul. Fed Hawk hot up 12-3 to start. Now Brady Jasick dribbling in, spinning out, putting it in the air. You know he's automatic. Lancers still up 17-10 in the second. Next play, Orsborn deep to Hunter Brandenberry inside to Chase Patton, and he's going to be in for the score, plus one more on top. Trimble back up 28-23. Now time running low, Lancers down 2. Joy looking for anything, puts it up, buzzer beater, and in. Tied 34 all after 3. Now Orsborn passing to Brandenberry, open, shooting deep for 3, and he cannot miss. 7-0 run for Trimble, rolling 41-34. Now looking for a miracle, Dylan Haynes passes, another clutch steal by Jasick, and honestly, why not add one more buck for the road as Trimble wins 55-45.
Whew, scrappy as always. It looks like this game was played in true Tomcat Lancer fashion.
This one was back and forth the whole time, and with it, Trimble picks up that first conference win, but not without some trouble.
Yeah, this game definitely looked a little lopsided at times. Seems like every quarter told a different story.
This game was all about momentum, and get this, Ashley, Trimble only scored 7 and 6 points in the first and third quarters respectively. They also had more turnovers than points in the first, but they also put up 21 points in the second and fourth each. So when these teams were in a rhythm, they could not be stopped.
And in such a back and forth game, when both teams are clicking the way these two did, you need those clutch players like Trimble's Brady Jasick.
Yeah, 2 steals to end the first half, 2 steals to ice the game. I mean, he and his team have been finding ways to take advantage every single week. They've been playing their best ball recently. And after the game, we talked to Coach Tracy Blevins, who told us the strides they've made were a huge part of their win.
You know, I told the kids that, you know, that's a team win, and 2 weeks ago we lose that game. You know what I'm saying? We lose that, and we worked hard, stayed with the program and what we want to do, and tonight you can see what we can accomplish.
Ashley, if the boys keep putting in the work, we could see some serious growth from this team.
Well, I definitely think that beating your rival is a great place to start. Thanks, Ty.
Trimble boys get a win on the road. Waterford boys also on the road facing Belpre. Got a fake pass off to Cole Sparling-Ponchak over to Gavin here, and that's a 3 that started an 11-2 Wildcats run. Sparling-Ponchak is 3-0 again with the board, and he cashes in on the loose change and 1. Here we go again with this guy. Knocks in a deep ball, part of his 18-point performance. Belpre trailing by 3, and they find A.J. Copen in the corner for a huge bucket to tie the game. Then with it on the line, Naziah Spencer delivers the game-winning putback to score with the Golden Eagles 52-50. Now, we're going to transition over to the Waterford girls, and Charlie Ehlenfeld is here to talk about them.
Yeah, thanks, Bolby. It was a crucial game for 2 teams that entered this week on fire. Waterford entered Monday winners of 11 of 12, while Federal Hawking had won 6 of their last 7. But Bolby, these teams play opposing styles of basketball. The Wildcats only allow 32 points per game, and the Lancers are averaging 66 points on offense. And there's Waterford's anchor, senior center Avery Wagner. Wagner got Waterford started with 4 consecutive buckets, commanding the paint all night. Federal Hawking kept them on their heels for the first half. Threes and steals like this one from Brendan Cottrell kept the lead narrow. Sierra Ponchek was playing crucial minutes early, and she hit this 3 to preserve Waterford's slim lead. But the Lancers simply would not go away. Takira Walker nailed a 3 of her own, sending Federal Hawking to the locker room down just 5. And there's Wagner again, starting the half with authority on this block. As the Waterford defense clicked, they began to find holes in the aggressive Lancer defense, setting up easy buckets like this Kendall Surrey layup. Elsie Malik sunk the dagger with this 3 in the corner. Waterford wins 60-41 in a crucial conference matchup. With the win, Waterford sweeps the season series and takes a major step towards locking up another TVC Hawking title.
And I don't think we can finish breaking this one down without bringing in Lancers reporter Gavin Carrick.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. But Charlie, you and I both saw how close this game was going into the half.
It certainly was, but there were a few key reasons to swing in favor of Waterford.
Yeah, you can never see a momentum shift, but you can certainly feel it. That's exactly what happened here in the second quarter. It all began with an Audrey Klingenpeel 3, then some defensive stops, and then add some buckets from Jelly Osborne and Michaela Nelson, and it was a 5-point game before you knew it.
The up-tempo style Federal Hawking plays was disruptive for the slow and methodical Wildcats, but Federal Hawking could not keep pace in the second half for two key reasons.
Yeah, shots just were not falling for the Lancers. Add that on top of the height difference that Waterford has over Fed Hawk, and that's all the Cats really needed.
Once the Wildcats committed to exploiting their height advantage, Waterford took advantage of the double teaming the Lancers found effective in the first half.
Yeah, and thanks for the breakdown, Charlie. Gavin, this game, as we talked about, had a huge impact on the TVC Hawking.
Yeah, Bulby, with that win, Waterford takes firm control of that top spot, but number 2 is still up for grabs. Fed Hawk hosted Belpaire on Thursday night, looking to close that gap between 2 and 3 in the conference. When these two teams met earlier on in the season, Belpaire took home the win 68-76. Now let's waste no more time and get straight into the action. The gap between these two sat only at 2 games before coming into this one. Belpaire was at 4-1, while Fed Hawk at 3-3. The first Lancer bucket was courtesy of Bronley Cottrell. Nice little hezzy to take the defender one way and then make it an easy finish for the sophomore. Belpaire was then able to answer right back. Julia Way was leading the way. Nice little ball moves, the spin right here, and the finish. Oh, how clean was that? But from that point on, it was all Fed Hawk. It seemed that everything that could go right, it did go right. But the Lancers were clicking on every level, taking a 37-24 lead into the half. Leading the way was Cottrell and Michaela Nelson. Cottrell finished with 27 points, add on 5 boards and 5 assists, while Nelson dropped 16 along with 5 steals as well. Fed Hawk continued their dominance in this one, taking home the win 77-49. Bulby, we're getting closer to tournament season game by game, and it's safe to say that these Lancers are starting to build more momentum at the right time.
Yeah, they certainly are, and we are starting to count down those days to tournament time. I can't wait. Thanks for the great work, Gavin. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we got to look at the standings.
Yeah, on the girls' side of the Hawking, we actually saw no movement at all from last week. Waterford took 3 dubs this week, moving them to 7-0 in the conference, keeping them solid in that #1 spot.
Belpaire also took an L against Fed Hawk on Thursday, but remain in second, while the Lancers trail closely behind in 3rd place.
Trimble took 2 wins this week, but remain in 4th, while Southern and Eastern, looking to break their losing streaks, round out our standings at 5 and 6.
And much like the girls, the boys' Hawking standings did not move. After beating Eastern, Southern stays at #1, sharing the spot with 4-0 Belpaire.
Eastern moves to 2-2 in conference and holds strong at #3. Waterford and Trimble share that #4 spot, and Fed Hawk rounds us out at #5. We are nearing the end of our episode, but before we go, it's time to name our Heroes of the Week.
And we're going to start with the girls. This player stood out amongst the rest this week. She is Waterford's Avery Wagner.
Avery Wagner is any coach's nightmare in the paint. Whether it's on offense or defense, she's in there and she's causing trouble.
Against Federal Hawking, Wagner had 23 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 blocks, a true force on the interior.
And you just can't beat those numbers. Wagner is an integral part to a very talented Waterford team, and so it's only right that she is our first Hero of the Week.
And over for our boys' Hero of the Week, it's also out of the Hawking from the Eastern Eagles.
It's Eagles junior Colton Lloyd. He dropped 24 points, had 6 rebounds, plus 2 assists in Eastern's overtime thriller against Southern.
And Ashley, we were at this game. Lloyd was able to make plays consistently. He kept Eastern in it till the very end.
Yeah, he knocked down big shots throughout the entire game. Unfortunately, the boys lost in overtime to the Tornadoes, but his performance stood out for Hero of the Week.
And that's all the time we have for today, but there's no need to worry. We'll be back here at the same time, same place next Sunday.
But until then, make sure to check us out on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, because the season is only getting hotter and you don't want to miss it. Until then, we're reminding you
to be heroic.